1886, Billy Meredith was sent to work as a pony driver down the Black Park Colliery in Chirk when he was just 12 years of age. From these humble beginnings, Meredith would go on to become one of the biggest names in football, playing for Manchester City and Manchester United. He made his debut for Wales in 1895 and would represent his country for another 25 years, despite his club employers blocking his release numerous times. His enormous star status helped popularise the game of football beyond the northeast of Wales.
Billy was interesting. He was obviously one of the best players around at the time in his early days, you know, and Chirk used to play friendlies against opposition teams. The scout used to come across from Lancashire to try and persuade him to come, and his mother, Billy Meredith's mother, chased the scout away and said, "Don't come here and try to get him playing football. He's got to have a proper job. You know, football's a stupid game." And Billy eventually had to sort of sneak out and go and play. Yeah.
Billy Meredith is incredibly important to the history, not just of Welsh football, but of football in general. You could argue he was the first celebrity of football, the first superstar in the game. And the fact he's from Wales is quite incredible. Brought up so close to the border in Chirk, so only a few hundred metres away from England. He was fiercely Welsh and he was very patriotic to the side.
Meredith was a passionate trade unionist from his time working underground, and he was instrumental in establishing a union to represent footballers, known today as the PFA. Their stated aim was to abolish the wage cap for players and to give them the right to transfer from club to club. Billy was considered one of football's most decorated players, an accolade later achieved by Ryan Giggs. But, putting Giggs into the shade, Meredith played for Man United well into his 40s, making him the oldest man to have ever played for the club.
Well, how many caps did you have?
53.
53? Well, I suppose that's a record, isn't it, Billy?
Yes, it's a record.
And did you play in all the matches that you picked?
No, I missed. I should have played in 71 if I'd played them all.
Was it a matchstick you always chewed when you were playing?
Toothpick.
A toothpick, then?
Yeah.
Oh, you got promoted for that, did you?
Can't afford them now.
And he used to play with a toothpick in his mouth.
And he's got all these stories, you know, about how he played. He was a dribbler. You know, he'd cut in from the inside, play with his toothpick in his mouth, which made him very kind of, you know, it made him stand out. He's known outside the game. He appears in a film later on. You know, he appears on a music hall stage. He's involved in a bribery scandal, and he played on right up into the kind of the mid-1920s. He was quite an old man by the time, you know, he gave up playing, which for that period when the game was tough and really physical and, you know, there was very minimal medical care, it was unusual to play on as long as he did.
And how many goals do you think you scored?
Only 500.
Your position was outside right, wasn't it?
That's right.
Well, that's a lot of goals to score from that position, isn't it?
No, only very good player.
One of Meredith's best friends